Here to talk about what you can do to protect yourself from this surveillance dragnet is cybersecurity expert and frequent guest on the show, Morgan Wright. Morgan, I was reading some of the stuff you prepared for this here, and you noted that big data has moved from understanding our actions to manipulating us. That's what really concerns me about this, their capabilities moving forward. Explain.
Look, when social media started coming out, there was a professor at Stanford called B.J. Fogg, and he ran what was a discipline called persuasive technology. The people who developed Instagram came out of his class. They found a way to basically create dopamine hits, use data to understand people and manipulate their actions so that they would click on things, that they would do things. So we've gone from trying to understand demographics and psychographics to trying to understand how do we manipulate behavior. And Dan, that's the step when we get into that. That's when you get the Russian Internet Research Agency. That's where then real disinformation, not just misinformation, but active measures. Disinformation has an impact because if they can understand you, they can manipulate you. So we've gone from just little bits of data to try and market better and do a better job of selling things to now where we're trying to manipulate people to buy things and do things they may not want to do, but because we understand what makes them tick, we can now do that. And let me tell you, that for me, being a former cop, working in the intelligence community, that is a scary thought to think that we can now start manipulating people like that.
So, Morgan, the most important question, the surveillance dragnet's everywhere. I just did a whole monologue on it. Private sector, government sector, all these government agencies. Is what can the average person do who's not interested in having massive data files compiled on them? Is there anything they can do?
Look, you know, there's this movement going around the world, the right to forget. Germany first instituted it, the ability to kind of remove yourself. But look, that's a tough thing. I think, Dan, you know what it comes down to at the end of the day, enough people need to get sick and tired of being sick and tired and say, we're going to start electing people who are going to start creating very specific laws. We want to be safe. We want our intelligence communities, our federal law enforcement agencies, state and local law enforcement to have the right tools. But we want them used in the right way. It cannot just be a free-for-all, let's everybody go out and collect data. The purpose of it is to make the haystack smaller. You know, anytime you get into the haystack, those are innocent people. What we got to do is get better at having that bigger magnet that specifically identifies the needle we're looking for and pulling that out of the haystack without disrupting or collecting information on lots of people. It can be done. It's just that the lines have blurred. Everybody now wants to be the lead on everything. Can't happen. We got to go back to very clear lines. There has to be federal legislation and oversight. We've got to start just really, cracking down on the abuse of data, because if you don't do it now, it's like what you were saying in the previous section. I don't want to become China. I don't want to become North Korea or Iran. I want to be able to live freely. Right. I want a free society, but we need to have some rules around it.
Morgan Wright, thanks for your time. We always appreciate you coming on the show. Thanks a lot.